the internet dropped out of my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was restarting and getting back up, and then the internet dropped out of my phone, but was still going on my tablet.
It's rough.
It was very confusing.
We're live, by the way.
Sure, it was confusing.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wait, are we actually live?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
You don't even do the countdown anymore.
Nope.
Well, I mean, it's
Alright.
8:30. Yeah.
It's more fun that way.
6 extra minutes.
That's 8:30 because I had internet issues.
Oh, I mean,
Anyways,
And I had computer
good times
issues.
roll.
Hi.
Hi.
D&D stream where I've just run out of taglines.
No, not. That's only episode
Already?
13.
yeah.
The D&D stream where bad things happen to bad people and to good people and just to
Everyone.
all the time.
Everything bad
Just everyone.
happens. Yep.
I mean, pretty much. I don't like making happy worlds, so
Wow.
It's the darkest timeline.
Spoilers.
it is the darkest timeline.
We are on an
All the
island.
time.
We're on an island full of bears, so that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
There's nothing dark about that.
And on
That's
an island
pretty
full of
legit.
bears that has a cult of a death god running around.
Don't ruin it. We're on an island of bears. Just leave it at that.
Just leave it at that. Just
Cuddly,
fucking
fuzzy bears.
It was a hairy
Alright.
bear. It was a scary bear.
All right. Well,
What, you ever pulled out your adjectives before?
what?
You never pulled out your
Zach doesn't know
adjectives.
that. Zach doesn't know what an adjective is.
You never unpacked your adjectives. Alright.
I actually don't know what that means, but that's
Did you ever see
I don't
Schoolhouse
know
Rock?
what they're referencing.
Never watched Schoolhouse Rock
no, I
in
didn't.
elementary school? Ah. Look at
I did a couple of
That's not true. I did. I do remember Conjunction Junction and
Right.
that was it.
the one about bills.
Yeah. I'm
That's
just a bill. Yeah. Well, we'll during the break we'll run through them all and then we'll come back nice and refreshed
Just all of them.
with unpacked adjectives.
Okay.
We're gonna come back with a rehearsed skit. With
Will we
dancing.
though?
GTR, the only D&D podcast on the web with musical numbers. Actually, that would be pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie.
Da-da-da-da-da.
It would be dope if it was
I
a
mean,
true thing, which it is clearly not.
We used to have a
We did
bard
have-
that could probably do a musical number, but somebody killed him off.
Aww.
Zach, there's an episode. I don't know how far you've gotten into season 1 of Critical Role yet, but there's an episode where Marisha lost her voice, so she wanted to give an inspiring speech because there's a feat for that, and it like gives you temporary hit points and stuff if you do a 10-minute speech to rouse your allies. But she lost her voice, so she opted to do her inspiring speech in the form of an interpretive dance, and it was like the best thing ever.
That's pretty amazing.
I'll send you the link after. It's pretty wonderful.
So anyways, last time, 3 weeks ago?
Gosh.
Something
Yeah.
like that?
Oh, yeah.
Hard.
So we actually did stream one other time when we had Ace and Kyler playing. It was interesting. They found their way to a new part of the city called the Fortress, the only part of the city that they know of that has an actual nightlife. They proceeded to enter this fortress. It's literally about a city block that has high stone walls and guards in case something from the outside gets into the city. It doesn't just massacre the last part of town.
Mm-mm.
So you head inside. There's bars and brothels and drug dens and pretty much everything you can imagine that's not great.
Bad things.
Somehow we found our way there. We knew how.
It
Drunken
takes the fortress itself is essentially a large spiral like ramp that the very bottom is a fighting pit, and so of course it's the first thing they're gonna do. Brothel, nah. Drugs, nah. None of that. Fight. So
Murder and
they're
violence.
down. Having a hard time fighting a hobgoblin and a red dragonborn.
Oh boy.
We managed to take them out in a rather spectacular fashion. Chase got to use his new great axe, his new great axe's ability for the first time.
Nice.
Did I miss a session? I don't remember this.
Yeah, this was a little one-shot thing they did.
Oh, my bad.
Little side quest.
Yeah, side quest. They be
So
questing.
anyways,
It's another higher level than we are.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's how it works.
so that happened. They managed to make a little bit of gold. Went back. Got up the next morning with you guys, and then proceeded to head into the city. You had gotten a couple letters from the different people that were going to take you to the palace, so you started on your way there. In the process, you came across a large cathedral to Thea, where Gregor promptly found out that he's basically the Messiah.
That's cool. I'm uncomfortable.
That's cool.
Yeah. They managed to pick up a new compatriot, Zara, who is a halfling acolyte working for her grandfather, who is the head priest in the Church of Thea. Zara is going to be accompanying the team as they move forward as sort of like an ambassador to the rest of the followers of Thea and the other churches to Thea. They proceeded to head to the castle. Get inside. They met an excellent, just a fantastic bear butler named Lorik. A little sassy, as all good butlers should be. Proceeded to follow him inside. They met the Minister of Internal Affairs, Marna, a large sloth bear, who basically informed them that they've been being watched, that the government knows quite a bit about them already, and then asked for their help in a matter dealing with the Cult of Bane, which was a small group which has been recently expanding, and they believe is the culprit of the missing documents in the library as well as other places.
Fuck those guys.
They got fitted for items for the masquerade coming up soon.
We look good.
It was in a few days, wasn't it? Like 4 days or 3 days?
Or the next day.
So at this point,
2 days?
Because we're going to do the mask maker right
it's
now.
2 days. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we're sent off to meet Saphira, the mask maker, an old woman who has been working for the king and the royals for decades, making masks for the Festival of Reflection. So,
Neat.
that's that.
Yeah.
Basically, end of the game, standing outside the doors of the hut where the mask maker is, seeing a list of 4 rules.
Oh, that's
The first
right.
of which, yes, yep. The first of which was to ring the doorbell when you're ready to enter. Only one person may go in at a time. You are not allowed to talk about what goes on inside to anyone else. And all masks will be delivered in 1 to 2 business days after the meeting.
Prompt service.
All right.
Prompt service. Very prompt service. You can't be a half magical mask maker if you don't have prompt service.
Yep.
Very true.
Was that me just now? Did I
Say
freeze
again?
just now?
No.
Alright.
If you did,
You
no one
all
noticed.
froze, so I'm assuming it was me.
If you did, nobody noticed, but now we know, so.
Well, thanks for noticing, guys.
Can we check the tape?
Rewind.
For me, like, everything is kind of choppy, but you guys haven't complained.
No,
so I
you
assume
look
that
fine.
my
No,
fault.
no, you're
Fine on my
fine.
end.
So,
So who wants to go in first?
I don't want to go in, she scares me.
I'll do it.
We don't even know anything. Do we know what she looks like or anything about her?
I bet she's some old hag with like a hunchback or some shit.
Just your
Regis.
type, huh?
Regis,
You-
I
Out of her head.
Maybe she's a gilf.
Maybe she's a mimic.
Oh God. Goes and
What
eats.
all you know is that she's estimated to be over 80 years old and has a number of assistants helping her out.
Okay,
That's
so
literally it.
maybe it won't be just you and her. You know, maybe you'll have some group thing going on.
I bet she's gonna try to grab her hands. They're just gonna be really ice cold and slimy.
She'll probably try to pinch your cheeks
Oh.
and give you candy. Like
I bet she
like a grandma.
Smells like old people.
All right, Regis, I heard you say you'd do it. I think that's
All
commendable.
right, I'll do it.
That's
I'll
commendable.
go in first.
Good luck.
Look at that man doing.
Best of luck.
What am I walking down into like a hut?
No, it's like actually like a nice little like park.
Okay. A park?
It's so you kind of like walked in between these buildings, and him like stuck in between all these buildings. There was like this small wooded area almost. A ton of trees, a little path, bushes, flowers, the whole thing. And hanging from all of the trees are a number of
dead
different
bodies.
masks.
Oh, okay.
No, just like old masks. hanging.
Okay.
Masks,
That's
that's
kind
what
of
I-
masks.
that was my
We're
second guess.
not pulling a Buffalo Bill mask.
Yeah, it's not
maker in
that.
this situation.
It's not that nice of a hut. Okay.
Okay.
So
So I'll go on in. Is there a door?
there's like an actual like door knocker.
I'll gently
Do it.
like hit the door knocker twice. Or that like dun 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 dun. Lets it know you're a common piece.
Yeah, you're a party man.
You hear some swearing of a woman swearing behind the door.
Okay.
It sounds further off, not like directly behind the door, and then you hear kind of footsteps coming forward. Eventually, the door. You hear someone press against the door, and like a little hatched grate quick flips open, and then shuts, like just enough that you catch a glimpse of a woman's eyes, and then the door proceeds to open, and standing in front of you, in a kind of like blue tunic and like white pants, is a tall, blonde human girl. She looks to be mid-20s. Very, very pretty features. Adorned with a number of earrings and a little nose stud. Her hair is plaited along one side, or braided along one side, and everything about her seems normal except that you do notice that her left hand is missing. So
Whoa.
she kind of looks up and down and goes, so you must be Regis? Is that right?
Just kind of like look her up and down and be like, yeah.
Look, wait.
That's me.
We can't see any of this or hear any of
And
this.
you are? Can they
What was
hear
that?
this?
Sorry, one second. What was that, Gregor?
We can't hear or see any of this.
Yeah, you can.
Alright.
They're just at the front door.
Okay, cool.
I think she saw the wanted poster.
Kind of looks around Regis at you and goes, "Oh, somebody this cute couldn't be on a wanted poster, could he?"
No.
Like jokingly.
No.
But seriously, if you have a wanted poster, I'll eat it.
You already beaten 2 of them, I think. Right?
I think so.
She kind of gives you a strange look and just kind of giggles a little bit.
And you are, miss?
She reaches out with her good hand, her right hand, and says, "My name's Victoria."
I'll shake with my left.
Why?
She
Wait, no, I got that backwards. My bad. My right. So sorry.
she goes, "I'm one of Miss Saphira's apprentices. Miss Saphira is unfortunately a little busy right now. more important things than to talk to a motley band like you guys.
Whoa.
We are the greatest.
So
Wait a
I'll be
second.
helping you.
That's fair.
He like flashes a grin at all of you, and like, you know.
It's true.
Mm.
That's fair.
She goes. So I'm assuming that means you're first, then, Regis.
Yes.
Well,
we're-
come on in.
He's our leader.
Make
Okay.
sure to shut the door behind you.
I will. I shut the door behind me.
So as you step in, you see that you're in a hallway that's maybe decent size hallway, a little bit wider than a normal hallway, and it's about 15 feet long. And on both sides, all you see are just masks lining the walls. All sorts of masks. They're in better condition than the ones outside, but everything from masks made out of bone, scary masks, some with spikes and just kind of angry features and overgrown fangs, to eloquent mirrored masks, to delicate porcelain ones. Just every kind of mask you can imagine is here, and they all have like very distinct features. No two are alike. They seem to kind of, each of them almost evoke emotion in you. So she leads you down this hallway. The floor is well worn. It's not a prim and proper place. You can tell that lots of people come in and out through this door. The floorboards are worn. As you exit the hallway, you walk into what appears to be a lounge of sorts. There is a small desk off to one side, and then there is a fireplace on the other side of the room, a large rug, more masks covering the walls, and then what appears to be a stand with some drinks and treats and stuff like that. So she kind of motions to one of the two chairs by the lit fireplace, goes over and to the bottles and asks, would you like a drink before we get started?
I would, yes, that would be great. Thank you.
I knew. Let me guess. Whiskey Man?
Yes, sir, ma'am. Miss.
She just kind of giggles to herself. You see her pour a generous helping of whiskey. She pours a second generous helping of whiskey and just plops a large single ice cube in each of them, and walks over and sits in front of you, and sits down in the chair opposite to you. And she, again, kind of looks you up and down, and pauses, and purses her lips a little bit.
Just gonna move forward, just frown.
As you do, she kind of smiles to herself. Okay, Mr. Regis. Do you have a last name?
Yes, it is Boarsbane.
Okay. So, here's how this is supposed to go. Basically, I have to get to know you. The real you, not a fake version, not even necessarily the version that you may tell yourself, but the real you. So,
Okay.
this will happen in two parts. First, we'll go over just a couple quick questions. Just talk a little bit. And after that, we have some chemical methods. Stuff that I'm sure you've probably had experience with before.
Go and get high.
I did this stuff on a boat once, but that was beyond that, nothing else.
Really?
Really
I just
did.
assumed a well-weathered man like yourself would have some experiences with these things. Well, at that point it'll just kind of help you relax a little bit. Okay?
Okay.
So, first things first. Who is Regis? I mean, I know that I see a tall, strapping fellow who obviously looks like he knows how to use a blade and seems fairly confident, if not a little awkward. But who would you say that you are?
Honestly, I'm a man who's lost everything he cared about. And while traveling through that lost path, I found a very shallow light in a forgotten place. And that's kept me going ever since.
Okay. So, not to pry, but that is the point. When you lost everything, what did you do to deal with that pain? Because everybody deals with their pain differently.
Well,
when I lost my hands, I drank a lot.
That was a part of it.
Okay.
But mainly, I guess I wandered. Well, I ran away. I guess I ran away from my village, ran away from my country. Just went where no one would know me.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with running away. Just in many cases, it's an acceptable response to what we're given. May I ask, Pumpkin? Sorry, give me a second, guys.
And a familiar jumps up on the table.
Haha!
Yes. Haha. She kind of pauses and she's like, "So, were you in the military?" Just looking at the way you hold yourself and the weapons that you carry, it seems somewhat militaristic.
Yes, that's a fair guess. I was a captain of a squadron, small squadron.
Would you say that you are a good man?
I try to be.
Usually means that you're pretty good. That doesn't surprise me.
Oh, my heart.
She kind of like chuckles to herself and thinks. Takes another drink of her whiskey. At this point, a cat does wander into the room. We're gonna use another prop just because it's there.
That's funny.
And she reaches down and pets him. She's just kind of looking around at the walls, looking at all the masks. And she goes, "I think for the most part that's all I need. One more quick question. You said that you found some hope. What might that be?"
To be blunt, it was a long, just forgotten shrine to Torm, the god of courage.
Okay. Well, that's actually kind of nice to hear. Lots of people talk about Thea all the time around here. I'm a huge believer. So it's kind of nice to hear that other people still worship other gods.
Huh.
Okay.
Not this god as much anymore, but...
Endless. So, the next part is a little chemical fun. She pulls out a little empty vial from her pocket and goes, "I actually already gave it to you. I didn't want you backing out. I didn't think you would, but just in
Sly
case.
bitch.
The first time I've been called that.
I meant that as a compliment, if anything.
She laughs and she just kind of goes, just finish drinking your whiskey. She's like, you'll fall asleep. And you'll see something. It will feel real. And once you're back, we'll know what we need to know to make you a
Okay. Zach, I think your audio might have cut out.
Oh, Zach, you lost your audio.
Yeah.
Outside, I have fashioned a lasso out of my 50 foot of hempen rope, and I am trying to lasso Rogar from different distances.
Rogar is just standing there, seeing how good I am.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh, we can hear
Nope, we
you.
hear you.
We can hear you now.
That's fine. I'm just, Pumpkin has his paw on the touchpad.
Pumpkin,
Oh no.
just move him. He's a cat.
No, fucking pumpkin.
He'll like it.
I love you, but you gotta get down, okay?
Pumpkin, so cute but so deadly.
Cute and deadly. Just like Rogar.
So let's try to get this back to where it needs to be for me. Sorry, just 1 second.
It's okay. I was saying while you were out that while this is all happening outside, I fashioned a lasso out of my rope, and I'm trying to lasso Rogar from different distances.
Rogar's really into it. He's like, yeah.
Surprised there's no
You
one
almost
that
had me that
that's the
time.
sort of stuff that Rogar is into.
He's into ropes and stuff.
Shocker.
So,
And that too.
as you sit there just kind of quietly finishing your drink with Victoria, you feel your body kind of start to get a little heavier, a little lower, a little more heavy, and just kind of it feels like you're moving a little bit through like oil, and the light starts to dim, and the last thing that you notice before you fall asleep is you feel Victoria give you a kiss on the cheek.
Ooh.
Before I pass out, can I just like as I'm passing out, can I just whisper like, "Don't take my kidneys"?
You hear her giggle once more, and then you're enveloped in black.
Oh, they
Totally
took my
taking
freaking
it.
kidney.
Took my freaking kidneys.
A magical Leopleurodon.
You,
That was really good.
Oh god.
Sorry, go on.
you up in an empty, misty field. The sky above you is dark, heavy with clouds. It's not raining or snowing, but there's a chill to the air, like the breath of autumn touching your skin. It's completely quiet, save the wind. And there are low hills around you, around this field. As you pick yourself up off the grass, you round, and roughly 50 feet away from you, you see a little boy, about 10 years old. He's got a backpack on. It looks heavy, looks full, especially for a child his size. And he's got a sword out in front of him, and you kind of hear him crying to himself, and looking kind of up and around, just kind of frantically. So, what are you gonna do?
Am I able to use any spells
Yeah,
or magic?
you can tell that everything that you have at your disposal and is still available to you.
Okay. Oh, shit. Let's see if I even still have this spell. I don't think I do. I'm gonna go to the boy. I'm gonna call out to him.
You're gonna call out to him?
Yes, and be like, just kind of, you there, like, it's
Mhm.
okay, you don't need a sword.
He
I'm here.
quick swivels, and he kind of holds out the sword. It's, again, just like the backpack, a little too big for him, and holds it out, kind of sees that it's you, and just kind of pulls it kind of back to himself. Where did you come from?
I kneel in front of him, and
You start walking towards him.
yes.
Because, like I said, you're about 50 feet away, so...
Oh, okay.
No, you're just gonna walk up to him then?
I slowly and, like, calmly walk up to him and then just kind of, like, kneel. And just kind of tell him, like, I don't know where I really came from, but, I don't really know where I am, but let's figure this out together, pal.
He kind of looks at you and he's like, I did a... You should really get away from me. I did something really bad.
Can I like see anything like visibly, like on the boy, like out of place? Besides, like he's clearly afraid.
Make a perception check.
Okay. Oh, that is a 1. Regardless of bonuses.
The only thing that you notice that's out of place is that there is something gold sticking out of his backpack. That's
Look to him and be like, you steal something?
nods his head. Yeah. Really, you need to get out of here. It's coming after me.
I just kind of... Do I have, like, my weapons on me?
Yes. Yep, you're still fully equipped, just like you fell asleep.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna just kind of ready my shield and then just put my hand on the pommel of my sword and be like, whatever, stand, obviously, and be like, whatever it is, we'll face it together. Just have that sword up and ready.
He kind of gets it out and he's like, really nice, sir, but you're not going to be able to save me. My dad's really mean to me, and I was running away from home, but I needed gold. So I went to a local cave that supposedly has a dragon in it, and I stole something. As he says this, you hear in the distance getting louder quickly. As you look to the sky, now breaking through the clouds, thousands of feet ahead, you
Aw.
Oh no.
Oh no.
The boy
Oh
Okay.
god. He's a
Hold on,
master-
freezes.
You froze for a second.
He's a master of suspense.
there.
Oh no.
There he goes again.
Damn it. Those are always perfectly timed.
I think he's
Just then. It's like, damn it, Zach. That's funny.
Is this? Oh, this is the music. Okay, I heard like a banging. I was like, "What are my neighbors doing?"
Oh yeah, I do,
hearing
hear,
the
I
music.
do hear music now, kind of. Trying to
I
listen
do.
for
I
it.
think it's not from Roll20.
Yeah, there's drums.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Roll20. I don't hear anything.
Drums.
Am I on Roll20? Oh, it looks like we have to launch it again.
In the deep.
Dude, I've been wanting to watch Lord of the Rings again for a
I
while.
love that movie. I
you,
need.
gotta, you gotta just do a full day of all 3 movies.
Fellowship's on
I know.
Netflix.
Is it?
Yes.
Oop, I hear the drums now.
Yeah, there they are. I turned them up a little.
Okay.
Hey.
Hi, Jack.
He's
Except-
back.
There we go.
It's the weird thing again. So, as you hear these wings beating and see this dragon break through the clouds, the little boy just freezes with his sword out, and he goes, "Mister, you really need to go. It only wants me."
I
The
tell
dragon
him,
comes closer. You do not have much time. Fair warning, this is a quick time event.
"This is a what?"
A quick time event. You've got maybe 20 seconds to decide what you're going to do.
You can't
Alright.
think too long.
I push the little boy behind. I stand in front of the little boy, tell him to just get behind me. Have a sword at the ready, and then I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith on myself real quick. Gain that 2 AC, and just take a reaction action just to defend.
As you do this, the dragon gets closer. It is just screeching out of the air. It gives a loud roar as it comes at you. Faster, faster. You can see the flames building in its mouth. The little boy starts to run away from you, actually. What are you going to do? As he does, the dragon just very slightly changes its course to go after him.
I have a hand axe. I'm going to throw a hand axe at the dragon to try to get its attention and force it to come after me.
Roll for an attack.
Pull an aggro, man. It's
Oh my
awesome.
god.
Get him! Get him!
Let's see. I got a.
700.
You got it. What is this noise that is happening?
Oh, sorry, that was me. I was putting my dice on the table.
No. I got an 18.
18.
Hmm.
So it flies through the air and it hits the dragon, catching it just at the edge. Last second, it head swivels, and instead of hitting the boy, it hits the ground, turns itself, its claws dragging into the ground. It immediately begins lunging at you, and before you know it, its jaws are around your body, crunching it to bone, and you wake up.
Jesus.
Damn.
The Victoria is leaning over you, and she sees you kind of start awake and just goes, "It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You're back. You're back. You're safe. Bit intense. I know. Nobody would take the drug if we told them what it was going to be about."
Fair.
Okay. Like, and that's it. Would you like another drink before you go?
I'm just kind of like, yes.
We'll get out the good
Yeah.
stuff for now.
And if possible, put me under so I can go at it with that dragon again. Just give me one more chance. I think I can get it this time.
Chicken looks and goes, "There's a dragon involved.
Oh.
Hopefully, a little more intimidating than the one outside."
Ooh, shoot.
Ooh.
Mad shade.
Take a bottle from Mother. It's like very eloquent, and pours like less whiskey, but still a decent something, and hands it to you. And she
Okay.
goes, "Okay. We know everything that we need to know. So that's it." Okay. She like cheers to you and down her bed
All right.
and goes, "Okay, so that's it. If you want to go out, we'll have somebody head out to meet the next person. Okay."
Okay. That works. Do I just follow her out? Or follow the assistant?
She just kind of like walks you to the hallway,
Oh, okay.
and like gently puts her hand on your back as you walk by.
Oh, my.
Oh my.
I have an oath of devotion, just so you know.
I can't do this.
Can't do this. On Tuesdays, at least. That's my day.
The Lord's Day.
It's the Lord's Day.
Alright. Anyway, so that's that. So you head back outside.
Okay.
I don't want to do this.
You made it. You made it.
Well, you got him
What
back.
happened, man?
You look sweaty. Were you watching Cops?
Not far off, but
Was everything okay in there? What happened?
oof.
Did you pick
You
a
will
great mask?
see. Man, let me tell you,
Yeah, where's your mask?
when you see the dragon, whew,
What?
just
Hey,
stand your
how
ground.
do you
You'll be
say
good.
this? As you say this, the sign with the
Oh,
rule,
yeah.
the third rule glows and just makes a little chime sound.
What is
Oh,
the third rule?
Don't talk about it.
Ah,
The third rule of Fight Club is don't talk about Fight Club.
oh shit, Regis, you just fucked up.
I look at it, then I quickly turn him like, by dragon, I mean pretty lady. Just for you,
Oh.
you just have a go at that pretty lady. Imagine her as a dragon. She'll be in your palms in no time.
You
Right-
say
right in
she's
your
a bit
palms.
leathery.
But be polite. She's a nice lady.
Maybe I'll go next.
Oh wait, hold on a second, okay?
Oh,
What?
Oh, he's gone.
Wait, he's back.
he's back.
There he is.
How was your ice cream cone, Natty?
It was delicious.
Also, 1 second, I've got to turn my AC down further.
Yeah, you do.
What flavor was it?
It was a vanilla cone with fudge in the middle.
Oh man, that sounds good.
Ooh,
I want ice cream.
it is approaching ice cream time.
It sure is.
All right. Back to it.
So where's your mask, Regis?
You said it would be like what, like two days or so?
Delivered in 1 to 2 business days.
Oh.
Presumably, you guys will get it before the masquerade.
Oh,
Yes.
all right.
So,
I didn't know how it worked. Cool.
She said it'd be some time, so.
All right, who's next?
I think Rogar volunteered.
Get in there, big
Maybe.
guy.
I don't really like all this witchy magic stuff. Maybe somebody else goes first.
I'll go.
I'll go.
I'll go if no one wants to. Okay, Galen, it's all you.
Wish me luck, guys.
Good luck.
Good luck.
I'll quickly turn to Galen and just be like, be as honest as you can, little man.
You pathological liar,
Okay.
you.
All right. Thanks.
He's the biggest one of us all.
I think Galen like almost skips up to the door because he's super excited
He's
to
excited.
get his mask. He thinks it's gonna be really like simple and like he's gonna just pick out a cute mask.
Like a Halloween mask.
hmm
Beautiful.
Yeah, get
He's-
that in my
he's-
size.
There's a knocker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is he
it's
tall enough to reach it?
Not really. You're gonna have to like jump for it or knock.
Okay.
Can I
whatever you
pick
wanna
him
do.
up?
Hey, Regis, can I get a little help?
Can I pick him up to like get up to the knocker?
Yeah.
Okay, I like daintily just caress him like upward, like just put like my hands up like so, and just
You caress him upward?
not caress.
It's
I guess I
basically
just
like-
lift him.
Your hands are so soft.
Thank you.
So supple.
I moisturize daily.
Beautiful.
Galen's gonna knock on the doorknob. Just simple little knock.
Just knock. Okay. You hear very light footfalls coming across the floor. And then you hear some kind of like scrambling almost behind the door. Like someone kind of like accidentally like bumps up against the door. And the door then opens and you see someone like their arm up. They pull the handle and kind of standing in front of you guys is another forest gnome, actually.
Ooh.
Oh, hello. He's like waving down because he's still standing and reaches his hands.
I would have said.
Hello
I'm
down there.
gonna daintily just like set you on the ground.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
The gnome kind of smiles and is like, "Hi, another forest gnome. This is great."
I know. I don't see too many of you guys around.
As you look at them, this forest gnome has like nice, long, luxurious brown hair, kind of like loose-fitting, like nice loose-fitting garments. They look like very comfortable, like very like standard kind of green of like a forest gnome. It's kind of interesting as you look at them. Kind of fine features, but not really either masculine or feminine. Just pleasant features to look at. You do notice that there is a long scar running along her face, though, or their face, though. And they go, "Yeah, there's not too many of us on the island. There's a few. They run a bar. Not very nice.
I met some of them. They're characters for sure.
They're a little rough, but that's okay."
What's your name?
My name is it's Lark. What's yours? Wait.
Hi, Lark.
I know this. Alan?
How did you know?
I knew it. I figured the mistress would send me out here for you.
Just looks like a Galen.
Come in. Let's talk a little bit.
Okay. How does this all work?
Just real quick, close the door behind you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay, so close the door, and you see all of the masks on the wall, just like Regis. Lark's like, "Well, it's pretty easy. So what's gonna happen is we'll sit down and just talk for a little bit, and then we have sort of a potion that you take, and
A potion, huh?
well, it's not exactly the nicest potion,
Oh.
but the point is to help us figure out who you are, right? These masks are supposed to represent who you are deep down, and we don't think that you lie to us, but it helps to see how you might handle situations. So,
Oh, okay.
but don't worry about that right now. Right now, we're just going to sit down and talk. So you walk in. The place looks exactly the same. Small desk off to the side with some pieces of paper and parchment. The room is still very much covered in masks. And again, the fireplace. This time, the Lark goes over and pulls like a little quick stool up to where the drinks are, and looks at you and goes, do you want like a drink or maybe like a coffee or hot cocoa?
Oh, sure. Actually, do you have hot cocoa with a little something extra, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, we can do that. So you smell the chocolate as Lark opens a teapot of sorts and pours it into a couple cups. You see them grab another quick little bottle and pour it in each of them, and grabs both of them and hands one to you. And as you smell it, it's like really well made. It's pleasantly with like chocolate and what smells like kind of a milk base, like really enjoyable. And then the little bit of a hint of like a whiskey or something.
Mm-hmm.
So Lark kind of pushes themselves up, gets on the chair, and kind of like sits cross-legged up there, puts their hand back behind their ear, and goes, "Okay, so like I said, this part's really fun. It's really easy. I just get to know you. So, let's see. Do you have a last name, Galen?"
Well, I mean, I don't know about your village, but in my village we have 5 names. But I kind of go by Galen Garrick in most situations.
Okay. What else? So, tell me, if you were to describe yourself to someone, what would you say?
Well, I'm kind of still figuring that out myself, actually. I grew up in a village full of other forest gnomes, as I'm sure you did as well. And I kind of always felt out of place there. So once I left, I decided I needed to find out who I was, like as an individual, if that makes sense. I'm still kind of working on it.
Of course. I mean, who really knows who they are? I mean, it's hard. I mean, that's why we ask you guys questions when we bring people in here to get these masks, to like kind of help us figure out how we might express you and express your soul in the form of a mask, because it's hard for people to talk about themselves. So that's totally fine. So you left your village. How long ago did you leave?
It was actually pretty recently. I guess about a month or 2 ago now.
Okay. Have you enjoyed your time outside so far?
Oh yes, very much. I mean, it hasn't been easy, but it's been very interesting.
That's good. Do you like the guys that you are hanging out with?
Yeah, I do. They're pretty good.
Oh, that's nice.
They got some rough exteriors, but I can tell they're good guys.
Okay. Well, let's see. Yeah, I'm. It's like I said. I mean, there's only so far we get with questions. It's not meant to be a particularly long process. I mean, I'm sure you saw that Regis was only in here for maybe a couple questions or for a few minutes, right? Not
He
very
didn't
long.
seem to be gone very long, no.
And for you guys, he was gone maybe 10 minutes. Like,
That was 10 minutes?
10 minutes. It was fast.
Wow.
And Mark is like, okay, so,
Oh no.
He really
Galen
is
just
a
takes a
master
sip of his cocoa, kind of looks around the room, kicks his
Sweet.
legs around.
Oh, God,
Just waits for the answer.
Hey, looking for magazines on the table.
There he is. Oh, he's back.
There it is. Wait, no.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Looks like he's
Why? Oh,
Rogar's outside. He's just got a stick and he's drawn.
okay.
Drawing in the dirt.
Here, end your call, Zach, if you can hear us, and start it up again just to see if that fixes it.
Why is it always him? And also, related, I need to get a really long Ethernet cable and plug my computer directly into the thing.
Do it.
Natty,
Okay.
do you got something going off your mic or something? You're coming through like hella echoey for me.
Oh, sorry, is it better?
Oh, me?
Is it just me?
I'm not hearing an echo or anything.
Not too much.
I think it might just be me then.
Sorry, man, I don't know. I don't have any
No,
extra
you're good.
speakers going.
I'll just fuck with my.
Yeah, you could turn them down, I guess, if that helps.
There we go. That
Anyways,
works. Continue.
We're gonna try pulling up Discord on a browser. But anyways, so Lark looks at you and they go, well, so the next part, it can be a little scary, okay? It's not a bad thing. It's just meant to help us figure out what really matters to you
Okay.
and what sorts of things kind of lie at okay, lie in your heart. So what we're gonna do, and Lark pulls a little bottle out of their jacket. It's filled with like a silvery liquid, almost looks like mercury. And they go, so what I want you to do is I want you to drink this, and in a minute or so you'll just fall asleep. It's perfectly fine. You'll wake up in a few minutes, perfectly fine. But you're gonna have some dreams, okay?
Is it safe?
Yes. Yep. I've been through it a couple times. Every other apprentice here has. Everyone that comes into our shop and wants the masks has to do it.
Well, if everybody else is doing it, I guess I can do it too.
self peer pressure.
So weird. So Lark hands you the little bottle. Are you gonna take it?
I'm gonna pour it into my chocolate, and then like down the whole thing.
Oh
Rest of it.
shit!
So really, it doesn't have too much of a taste. You can tell that the cocoa is maybe a little bit sweeter than what it was before, but taste or feel much different.
Okay.
Sorry. So Lark just kind of like is just kind of chattering at this point. You know, you guys are just carrying on, having a conversation. Nothing too serious at this point. Just kind of talking about the island a little bit. And you feel the same sensations that we just did. You feel like your body gets a little heavy, things a little sluggish, a little slow. The room kind of gets a little darker. Lark notices you kind of slumping a little bit and just comes over to your chair and like puts your hand and is just like, it's okay, Galen. Everything's gonna be okay. Don't worry.
Oh,
I squeeze their hand really. I squeeze their hand really tightly.
Mhm. And as you do, everything just kind of goes black. You wake up in the woods, very similar to the woods back home. Huge wooden trees. Yeah, wooden trees. I don't know what that was.
Metal trees.
that's metal brown.
Large oak trees and pine trees. The forest around you has little bushes, and you see insects flitting around, and a ravine nearby. You can hear a babbling brook, and things seem pretty peaceful for the most part. It's just kind of quiet and pleasant.
This isn't very scary.
you you recognize this area, and everything seems very familiar to you. As you kind of like smell the air, forest, the breath in your chest, and it kind of sets a little bit. You hear a couple children arguing nearby, down towards the street. You can't see them right now, but you definitely can hear them.
Yeah, I think I'll walk towards him. The sound.
So as you kind of crest the edge of the ravine down towards this like gentle slope down towards the water, you see three gnomish children, right? Two boys and a girl, and they're kind of arguing with each other. But as you look at them, it's not like angry childhood arguing. It's kind of frantic arguing. One of them has a pack on. Another one has a little dagger, and the other one is holding like is holding a baby, like a bunny in its arms. And it's hard to tell because they're still maybe 50, 60 feet away. But it looks like there's like the bunny is hurt.
Okay.
So what are you gonna do?
As I'm walking up towards them, I'm gonna continue walking towards them, and I'll just say, "Hey, guys, what's going on over there?"
They're gonna like turn and they go, "Oh, we're we're kind of lost, and we're trying to figure out what to do."
Okay, maybe I can help. I just keep walking towards them.
So the one that spoke to you was the girl, and she's got the backpack on. There's the boy with the dagger is kind of like looking around at the woods, and he looks at you and he goes, "We seem to have attracted some wolves. We might have stolen one of their dinners." And the one with the bunny is like, "They were gonna eat him. We couldn't let them." And like you can now see that like the leg of the bunny is like snapped, like the bone is broken, and it looks like something was literally in the process of like either carrying it somewhere or biting into it.
Oh, that's awfully brave of you kids.
And the little girl with the pack is like, "Yeah, I mean, I can't blame them, but we think those wolves are nearby."
Okay. Well,
We're
here.
just-
First things first, I'm gonna try to use Cure Wounds to heal the bunny.
Okay. So as you kind of mutter a few words, the bunny's leg you see kind of pulls back together. The bones seem to reset and straighten, and the wounds cover up. It did not take much to help them. And as you do so, the girl and the boy begin the other girl and boy begin arguing again. One of them's like, "No, we need to go upstream. We need to try to get back to the village." And the other one's like, "We're never going to make it back to the village. We need to try and get away from these things, maybe to the lake." And as you like now turn, you can see that further off down the stream, it does actually lead to like a little forest lake. I mean, a ways away, right? The bunny kind of like starts like twitching, wanting to like get out of this child's arms, and the child's like, "Oh, it's like, are you okay, Mr. Bunny?" And at this point, you hear howls. Ooh! And as you look around, you notice that on both sides of the ravine, there's maybe 6 wolves apiece on each side, a full pack that has surrounded the one, all three children kind of freeze. The one boy hugs the bunny a little bit tighter. The bunny is like trying hard to get out of his arms at this point. And the wolves start running down. You just hear them crashing through the brush. You hear their feet padding on the ground. Boom, 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 boom. As they do, you realize you do not have much time. You gotta figure out what to do. The boy with the dagger starts running back upstream. The girl with the backpack starts running downstream, and the little boy with the rabbit is trying to find like a hiding space for this bunny.
Okay.
So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna pick up the child that has the bunny, and carry them if possible.
Are they as big as Galen is?
Make a strength check.
Okay, strength.
Actually, or athletics, whatever is going to be higher for you.
It's the same. 11 is what I got.
11. Okay, so you do manage to get a hold of him. And he's got a hold of the bunny, and you got him. It's not a great hold, but it's doing. So you have the ability to move.
Okay.
In opposite directions.
Right. I am gonna try to cast command on the girl to get her to run in the same direction as us.
Okay.
So I'm gonna.
I need dice. Give me 1 second.
Give me dice.
Dice stat.
Okay, so it's what, a wisdom saving throw?
Yes. It has to be to 14.
14. The little girl kind of goes rigid and just kind of stops in her tracks.
And I'm gonna command her. I'm gonna say, follow.
She turns around and starts running towards you.
Okay. And so I'm gonna run off towards the boy that ran upstream,
Okay.
carrying the child in my arms.
You manage to get up pretty close to him. The wolves are coming down. He has gotten outside of like the flank, so like the wolves were kind of like in a circle coming closer. He managed to get out here, and now you're at the leading edge too. But with the child in your arms and the little boy ahead of you, you realize there is no way you are going to be able to outrun this wolf pack. And realistically, with as many as there are, there's no way you're going to be able to stop them all. So what are you going to do?
Okay. Okay. I am going to use. Shit. I'm gonna use the little magic missile and shoot a little missile at each of the wolves closest to us. So I guess I'll use that as a second level. Oh, wait, no. There's 3 of those. Is it a first level? Let me double check.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
3 glowing darts.
Yeah, at first level,
so
there's
I'm gonna
3.
shoot 1 at each of the wolves that are closest to us.
Okay. As those wolves get hit, they crumple to the ground. Boom, boom, boom. Their pack jumps over their bodies. They're closing in fast. The turning around that you did has now put you and the boy in your arms closer to them, and the girl is like slowing down because she's following you.
Okay.
There's still a ton of wolves coming at you. What are you going to do?
So there's 8 of them?
So at this point, there's going to be 9 of them.
9 of them. Okay. I'm gonna use it again at a 4th level spell slot, which will give me
Damn.
3, 4, 5, 6 bolts.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hit
Okay.
the ones that are closest to us.
So you hit the ones that are close to you. Those ones go down too. You hear howls coming from the woods beside you.
Oh no!
As more wolves come down, but they're behind you. They're just chasing you guys. The 3 that are closest are nipping at your heels at this point. What are you gonna do? One of them grabs your ankle
Ah!
and take a bite.
Okay, I'm gonna try to kick it in the face with my other leg.
Another one quick. You do kick the one in the face and it lets go, but another one quickly attaches itself to your arm, and while you're doing that,
Ugh.
you still have a little boy in your arms.
I'm going to. Ugh, I don't have anything I can do here.
You'll grab it at this point. The rabbit is flipping its shit.
It's flipping its shit. It's not a lot to do.
Another wolf grabs onto your calf on your other leg.
Oh yeah, these are sprints. You don't have time to think.
I know. Ugh. Not good under pressure.
5 feet of you. They're going to be within biting distance in a half second.
I'm gonna create an illusion using minor illusion. I'm just gonna create like a chasm between me and them on the ground and see if they go for it or not.
How big of a...
It can be
How big?
5 feet
5
in any
feet?
direction. Yeah.
The wolves on you scramble backwards, and the wolves around you quickly come around the chasm image that you created,
Dang
are
it.
within you in seconds, and you feel teeth bearing into your skin, and the little boy in your arms cry out, and then you wake up.
No.
Damn.
Fuck.
Jesus. This is like
Um,
nightmare fuel, man.
Lark is like beside you, and he's like, "It's okay, Galen. It's okay. Here, I made you another cocoa," and he like put the cocoa in your hand. He's like,
Galen's like
Galen is
sobbing.
like distraught to the point of tears. Yeah, he's like freaking out.
Lark
just like,
kind of looks at you.
I couldn't save them. I wasn't fast
Yep.
enough.
Lark looks at you, and he's like, "It's okay. It's okay. This is kind of the point. We need you to do what you do in the hardest situations. So that potion, what it does is it kind of takes stuff from your memories and builds hallucinations. Don't worry, the children weren't real. None of that was real. You did your best, okay? Just
I
breathe.
still couldn't save them.
No, but you tried. You tried your best. So just breathe, drink your cocoa, and just take a moment, okay? I can give you something if you need help calming down.
He doesn't say anything, but just like goes like this.
The lark, they pull out a little like thing of like powder. It's like a nice like emerald blue powder.
Okay.
And just like sprinkle some of it into the cocoa and just says, "Drink that."
Here's some Coke.
He's just he sips it very slowly. It's a little suspicious.
As it like hits your mouth, you just feel like your muscles just kind of relax a little bit. The horror of what's going on just kind of like just diminishes a little bit, and you feel much more calm.
This gnome gave me muscle relaxers.
You're
many drugs
still
does this place
completely like you're in complete control of your body again. Like,
Okay.
It's just you can just feel it relaxing you a little bit.
You can finally see him like stop breathing so hard.
They Lark, they take your hand again and go, "How about you go hang out with your friends? They seem to be funny. Help get your mind off of this, okay?"
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
I would have told you anything you wanted to know. Why did you have to put me through that?
Because even you may not know how far you're willing to go until you're faced with an impossible choice.
I understand. It's not your fault, it's your job.
Larga looks at you and they go, if it makes you feel any better, I've been through this a couple times too. Everybody else here has. That's why you see that a lot of us have scars. It tends to dredge up some terrible past traumas.
They
So don't worry.
caused your scar.
Oh no, it didn't. Lark, they touched the face and they go, well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't cause this. Just something else did this, and it helped me work through it. So take what you can from the lesson, from what just happened. Trust that you seem to be a very good man, and just do your best to move on, okay? Lark pats you on the shoulder and like leads you to the hallway and just says, whenever the next person is ready, you just let them know, okay?
Thank you,
It
Lark.
was very nice to meet you, Galen.
It was nice to meet you too. He just walks back out.
Okay.
Not as happily as I just did. That'd be weird. Oh, bye, Zach.
Bye. Hey, we got a tablet back.
There he is.
Right. Try getting back onto this. Hopefully it doesn't drop again. It will probably. Who knows? I fully restarted my computer, so maybe it fixed the issue.
Galen, you're back.
Oh, I should probably put my headphones back in so I can hear you guys.
You okay? You look a little...
All right.
Damn, dude, are you okay?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that was worth a mask.
Regis runs up to you and is like, "What did you see?" And then is quickly like, "Wait, no, I don't want to know. Don't tell me."
The third rule of
Can't
Fight
tell
Club.
you.
The third rule lights up. I don't want to know.
Ding!
At this point, Thray sees Galen come out, like, disheveled, and just starts fucking chugging. Like, it's just like,
Get ready for it.
Get this over with. That's when you guys want to
Galen, in your head, you hear Theray's voice, and here's just a question, which is like, how bad is it?
Galen's just gonna think back. Brace yourself.
Ooh.
Therray stops chugging for a second, looks at you.
Dugs his whole head into the
Gird your loins.
Alright, who's next?
Unless one of you guys wants to go, I'll go next. Oh, Rogar wanted to go next.
You want in, Rogar?
I'll go next.
Alright.
Okay.
Stupid magic witch.
Stupid magic witch.
You actually don't know that, do you?
I walk up to the door and grab the knocker and I just knock on the door.
The door.
That timed out really nicely.
This time you hear a heavy boom, 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 like heavy footsteps coming towards the door, and the door just opens up very quickly. Behind it is a green dragonborn woman. She has scars all over. She's in kind of like this, just like simple clothes, but with like piecemeal armor that's like very, very old and very worn. You can see that one of her legs is replaced with like a metal peg of sorts. And she kind of looks and goes, "So you're Rogar?"
Yep.
Nah, come on.
You follow her.
Okay.
Alright.
As you walk by, like, again, all the masks that you see, you notice from your time, you notice that more than a few of them are made out of bone or horn or, you know, all sorts of different animal materials, not just like ceramic or porcelain or metal.
Pretty cool mess you got here.
She turns around and she goes, "Yeah, mistress, she does a pretty good job with them. Mine is arguably the coolest, but who knows? Maybe yours will put up a decent fight."
Everybody has their own opinion, I guess.
She goes over and grabs. She reaches below the liquor cabinet and pulls out. You see her pour from like a mini keg 2 big tankards. She just brings them over, sets it down, one down on a table in between the chairs, sits down, puts her legs up, and just kind of like, have a drink.
Reach out, grab a tankard, gulps them down.
It's
Throw it
really
back.
good ale. So, what'd you say? Sorry.
Gulps them down.
Oh, okay. I thought I missed something at the end there. Do you sit down?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, chair's pretty comfy. The Dragonborn, she's quite pretty. Definitely kind of like built. And from the looks of her, she's been in more than her fair share of fights.
Oh no, we lost you.
Oh no. Oh no, we did.
Oh.
He's just so
They need
sad.
to get him a new computer.
He gets so sad all the time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Said she's really been in a fair share of fights.
Yeah. So she had been in a number of fights, and definitely the way she moves, you can tell that she definitely used to be like a fighter. So she sits down and she kind of looks at you and goes, "You from the wastes?"
Am I from the West?
Yes.
Yes.
I forget that I haven't told you
The
guys the
longest
actual
backstory of any of
specific
us.
names of places. The place you're from is among other terms, colloquially known as the Waste.
Is that why you're yellow? I mean, you're gold.
Born and raised
Born and raised.
In the wastes.
in the West.
In the playground where he spent most of his days.
Little waste baby.
Waste baby.
She kind of looks at you and just goes, "Surprising. You're actually pretty attractive for something to come out of that place."
Oh.
Oh shit.
Well,
She knows how he likes it.
I was raised by a bunch of orcs. So, I mean,
That does not make it any better.
Ladies
She kinda looks at
man,
you and goes,
Rogar.
In a quick movement, she just tosses a knife casually at you.
I try to catch it.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Deflect missiles.
Oh god, please don't throw anything.
19.
19. You just real easily just catch it out of the air.
Oh no, surprise attack.
He throws it back.
She looks at you, and just kind of goes, "Please, if I actually wanted to hurt you, I would have taken a chunk out of you."
Okay, crippled.
Shit.
Jesus.
Okay, cripple. Crap
She
outside!
takes and terrible support. She takes and puts her foot on the floor, and you hear a click. And as
It's a
she
gun, isn't it?
taps it one more time, you notice that a point slips out of the end and sticks into the floor. She goes,
Is it a wooden floor?
it is a wooden floor.
You need help removing that?
What's wrong with us?
She takes and just quick pops it out, and the tips slide back in. She's like, no, I don't think I need your help.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. So I've been tasked with the unfortunate job of getting to know you. So
Damn.
should probably get this over with. What's your full name? Do you have a last name? You are from the Waste. Who knows?
First name is Rogar. Then the orcs called me Blood Rage. Or
Blood
Rogar
Rage.
Yeah.
That's not hyper masculine at all. It's alright. I'm sure you earned the name. Like I said, you look like you can handle yourself in a fight. You had no problem catching that knife. Alright, Rogar Blood Rage. How did you earn that last name?
When I get in fights, I get really angry and kill things and end up with the blood on me. So.
Well, orcs aren't known for being particularly clever. So, gotta admit, it's kind of badass though.
Yep.
She kind of like takes another big swig from her taker, and she just goes, "All right, tell me about yourself. If you were gonna tell me who you are, what would you say?"
I'm a dragonborn barbarian, and travel the lands with my friends, killing stuff.
All right, that's great. But who are you, besides a barbarian?
Well,
what should I know about you, or is being a barbarian the only thing that matters?
pretty much all I got going for me right now.
All right.
Raised by a bunch of orcs, and
Okay.
got the run out of my dragon clan. Ended up killing all of them later on.
Wow. So really living up to that Blood Rage name.
Yeah. And just, wandering around now.
All right. Nothing wrong with simple life. Knowing what you're about. All right. Well,
Oh, I guess I'm trying to find the spooky wizard guy. Kill him. He killed my orc family.
wow. All right. So lots of deep emotional wounds there. Good to know. So if you are trying to find a spooky wizard guy, I imagine you're probably not too keen on magic.
Not really a fan of magic, no.
Well, plus side, the next part isn't magic, it's just fucking chemistry. So, she holds a little silver bottle,
What's
and then a second silver bottle because she looks at you and like kind of looks at how big you are and just like
what's chemistry?
another one like
What is this chemistry?
chemistry. It's like alchemy with less magic. Okay, right
so
here.
far.
What is magic?
She just takes and hands them over to you. She's like, drink those. You're gonna have some wicked trip. You're gonna have a wicked trip, and then you can leave.
Oh, cool. Sounds easy. I just pour it in my beer and just chug the whole beer.
Okay. Chug the whole beer. With the full double dose, it hits fast. Like 20 seconds, and your muscles go completely relaxed. And then a few seconds after that, boom, dark.
And outside we hear a loud boom.
You wake up in the middle of a kind of hard packed dirt desert. In the distance, you can see huge crystalline structures jutting from the earth. In the distance behind you, you can see tall desert mountains rising up, which quickly give way to trees and then snow caps. This is similar to Galen, a place that you know. Maybe not this specific area, but this is definitely not unknown terrain to you.
What time of day is it?
What kind of day is it? Or what time of day is it? It's dusk. So not dark yet, but very soon. In front of you, there's a small hill. Right? The small hill is kind of littered with bones. In between the rocks, you see what appear to be all sorts of bones. Different types of creatures. Some of them appear to be animals, some appear to be humanoid, some of them appear to be dragonborn. Definitely a few orcs in there. And on top of it, on top of this hill, you see a large stone box. Peeking out from the lid of it, you catch the glint of gold. So, knowing what you know about this area, something that we and you discussed, what happens at night, what are you going to do? As you look around, you notice that there is an area that if you started running soon, you could make it and get up high and be safe. At least as safe as you can in this situation.
Probably gonna go for there.
Go for there? You're not going for the gold?
Not going for the gold, no.
Okay. You quick start running. Like you're expecting, the sun finishes going down, the darkness starts descending.
Do I got any torches on me?
You do.
Pull out a torch, probably light it.
Okay. You're not quite going to make it there in time, but it's gonna be close. You feel pretty confident about your abilities. You feel that familiar rumble underneath your feet as rocks shift, as the dirt pushes and pulls. Very quickly, you see these black, scaly heads pushing through the dirt.
Was that one of the black scaly heads? Sorry.
Again?
Another torch and light it.
So you light your torch?
Two torches. One in each hand.
One in each hand. As you're running forward, you got the torches. They're lit. You hear as they the fire gets caught by the wind as you're going. The creatures that you see with their mouths too wide with too many teeth are scrambling around you. They're scrambling towards you now. The creatures are holding them off. The light that they're casting kind of being a halo around you. And in your path, you do notice one that appears to have been attacked or hurt by something really recently, and it appears wounded, and it's right on your way. So what are you gonna do?
Is it just laying on the ground?
Yeah, it's slowly trying to drag itself away from you and the light.
Is my direct path along? Well,
yeah, yeah, it's literally right in front of you.
Gotta just jump over it, keep going.
Okay. You make it to the hill, or make it to this kind of rock structure. It's solid rock, lots of places to get handholds. Very easily scale up it to the top. You notice that somebody has used it before, and there is a campfire kind of and some wood there ready. As you look down, you see these masses swarming and moving around. A few of them attempt to try to climb up the rock and can't seem to get their claws to dig in. And as you light the campfire, you wake up.
Am I in a cold sweat?
It's up to you. I imagine that Rogar is probably a little upset by what just happened.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you didn't fucking die, so...
Lucky.
The female Dragonborn, she's just kind of like leaning back, and looks at you and goes, "Not what I was expecting. Little surprising, to be honest with you."
Ugh. Got my trusty torches with me. Anything's possible.
That's why I always carry.
Out of curiosity, so you got on you right now.
23.
I just
Seems
imagine
like overkill,
I just
but
imagine him like an old school like lumberjack with like a pack on his back with just like logs. Just like that's all he carries.
Sticking
around.
out at angles so we can
Yeah.
keep dropping.
Yeah, just like a bundle of sticks. Yeah, like a big pack of sticks.
she goes, "That was it. Just like that, and you're done."
It's pretty mean, to be honest.
She looks at herself and goes, "None of it's particularly nice here. I will tell you what." She quick grabs another tankard and gives it to you. Cheers as you.
Thanks.
And she kind of looks you up and down and goes, "You ever get some free time, you just shoot a message over here."
Woo.
And helps and pushes you kind of towards the hallway and towards the door.
Arr.
Nothing better than a D&D booty call.
Yep,
Ooh.
that's the best kind. Rogar,
So,
you look normal.
Yeah. Stupid chemistry.
Stupid chemistry. Just like shakes his fist at the sky. Chemistry.
Foul magics.
Alright. I'll go in next.
okay. I think we should definitely take a break real quick.
Okay. Yeah, let's do a bathroom break and get refill entrance. Alright, I'll
Sounds
throw the break music up. BRB.
Cool. We're
Fade.
back.
Boom. There we are.
Cool. So Caramel walks up to the door.
I just
And-
grab the knocker and just like 3 solid knocks. Just. Yep.
All right. You hear soft patting coming up to the door, and just like the first time, the little gate grate pops open, and you can see someone looking through, and then it shuts. The door...
Before it shuts, can I try and make out what kind of eyes they are?
So there appear to be a woman's eyes, heavy dark lashes, and some interesting gray bluish skin.
Okay.
So the door opens, and standing in front of you is a tall, slender, gorgeous, black-haired drow woman. She kind of looks and she goes, "Don't see many drow around here."
Me neither. Not ever.
Oh, not ever.
No.
That's so strange. She holds her hand out and to shake yours, kind of daintily, and goes, "I'm Philanth."
Aramil, pleasure to meet you.
She pulls her hand back and does kind of like a thing to you too. And she goes, well, come inside.
Quietly follow.
Make sure to shut the door behind you.
Shut the door quietly.
So they walk in, and she walks in front of you. You see that she's actually barefoot, and the clothes that she's wearing, it's kind of loose fitting, silky clothes that are just kind of pulled together with fabric belts, fabric sashes. Nothing that's too constricting. And she walks in and kind of pads over again to the liquor cabinet and goes, "Can I get you a drink?"
Some tea would be nice.
Some tea? Okay. She starts about the process, and she's like, "It's gonna just take a second."
Take your time. And I'm just looking at the masks on the wall while I'm sitting there waiting.
She goes, hopefully no one outside has told you how this goes, but basically I'm going to ask a few questions, and then I have a potion of sorts that I'll want you to take.
Okay.
Just, it will induce some hallucinations, present you with a situation that will hopefully help us in our end of trying to get to know you a little bit better.
And if you don't mind me asking, how does this inform what is the importance of this mask?
Well, for the Masquerade of Souls, everyone there bears themselves to the rest of the community. The idea is that if the island is going to maintain its current state, its current peace, if the tribes are not going to fight against each other, if the king is going to rule justly and keep everyone together and unified, then we need to be completely honest with each other. We need to know who the other people are. We need to understand where they're coming from and what kind of people they might be, whether that's good or bad. The idea that if we know that at least, then we can act appropriately in the coming year. So many people have their masks for years and enter the masquerade. The king gets a new mask every year, and for him, the Festival of Remembrance is the Festival of Reflection is a very important time. This has been a tradition that's been going on for a while, but his self-imposed solitude during the first few days preceding the festival are new. So the point is simply so that we understand who is there, who the biggest, most influential people are, and have a much better idea of what to expect for the upcoming year.
Okay. You're very
That's
kind. You're very kind for a drow. If you aren't offended by that.
Oh, of course not. I wasn't born into a great family. She pulls her hair back, and you see now that there are scar marks all along her neck where it looks like a manacle or something was clasped on.
Goodness.
And she goes,
I'm sorry for that pain you must have gone through.
"That's very appreciated. Yes, I wasn't from a good family, and so we were slaves. I managed to escape, but if I had stayed in Afira, I would have been found, so I got on a boat to leave, and sure enough, I ended up on Pashara." So she pulls her hair back in front of her neck and comes over with the tea.
Thank you.
Takes and pours two teas and sits down on the chair, and she kind of looks at you and she goes, "So I'm already getting some idea of who you are, but may I ask, if you're going to describe yourself, who would you say Aramel is?" You don't need details, but just
I don't.
if you were going to explain who you were, in a book, or to if someone is going to explain you to a friend, what would they say?
I would say. Now, if someone were to explain me to a friend, they'd probably say something like, he seems nice. He's kind of cracks jokes a lot, and he's helpful. But in a book or something I would write, I would probably say that I'm lost. I'm a lost soul, and I'm not really sure where I came from or where I'm supposed to be, but I'm trying to find that out.
Okay. Can I ask, do you think that you're a good man?
I don't.
Okay. So, from this point, I think I've gotten most of the questions that I want to ask out of the way. Like I said, we have a potion. She pulls like a long, slender, like wooden tube out. She's like, "This will put you under. It'll cause some hallucinations.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, it may not be pleasant. It isn't for most people. I myself have been into it a few times.
I don't expect it to be.
I'm sure you saw your friends' faces when they came out. Regardless, once you're back, understand that you are safe, that none of it's real. Okay. So she just hands it to you. As she does, she kind of puts her hand on top of yours and just says...
Actually, before she hands me the vial, I just kind of put it into the tea and kind of swish it around. And then before I take a drink, I actually take Batosai off my back and I hold it out and kind of lean it next to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, if I'm not me when I wake up, use that.
She takes and she holds it and she goes, I will do. Good travels. And she kind of like just reaches and like gently like puts her hand on top of one of yours and then sits back.
Down the tea.
For someone like you feel the effects start immediately, even as small as they might be. Just a slight looseness in your muscles that you aren't particularly fond of. Your body not working quite the way that it's supposed to, and then of course it gets worse and the room gets a little darker and your body basically just kind of drifts away and you lose control of it. Everything goes dark and you wake up. Purely just in a fairly large tavern. It's not a tavern that you know. It's got a ton of people around. And it's, I mean, pretty packed, pretty loud. There's a band playing on the stage. Pretty spacious. No big deal. Everyone around you just seems like normal people. No other drow in sight. You do see the rest of the guys over in a corner booth on the other side of the room.
Like my party?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. The other side of the room. And that's the biggest thing. So what are you gonna do? You notice that you have an empty glass in your hand, like an empty mug in your hand.
I go on the way back to my party. I go up to the bar keep and order a round for them.
The barkeep sees you walk up and just like a middle-aged human and just kind of sneers at you and goes, I thought I told you before, we don't serve drow around here. This is not a negotiable thing, and I told you this before. Where do you even get this mug? And he takes and grabs it out of your hand and brings it back down to his side and like tosses it down. He's like, probably gonna have to clean that.
Sorry you feel that way.
Burn it.
Can I at least buy some for my friends over there? They aren't drow.
They can come get their own drinks.
All right, well, thanks, I guess. Then I'll turn around and head over to the table.
As you start heading over to the table, you get like a heavy shoulder thrown into you by a passing, just a passing dragonborn. Another person just kind of stands in front of you and like tries to trip you.
Okay. I attempt to avoid that.
I mean, you do. You're
Yeah.
a monk. It's not terribly difficult.
Hop it.
You
Tough crowd.
continue moving forward, and in an almost dreamlike scenario, the room gets much longer with your party now hundreds of feet away almost. And in front of you, people are beginning to stand up around the room. And somebody comes up and kind of just like does his best to like shove you out of the way and just says, "Murder scum." Another one comes up and spits at your feet and just like, how can you live with yourself? A woman comes up and takes and like splashes her drink, or does her best to splash her drink on you, and is I know it seems silly, but like she just tries to splash her drink on you, and then just stands there and turns and points at them and goes, "Do they know what you did? Do they know who you really are? and then just like walks away. Like other people get up and they just keep making these comments, and what you at first thought were racial slurs, and there are some racial undertones, obviously, are now becoming more pointed, hitting on things that you feel kind of beneath the surface.
I just keep I keep trying to push past, just like eyes forward, trying to get to that table.
Eventually it gets worse. People start actually hitting you or trying to hit you, and it's a crowd, so people are getting through. Dishes being thrown at you, people trying to punch you or kick you. The crowd seems to get thicker as you're kind of pushing your way through, and begins to kind of close in a little bit. The things that they're saying getting so much worse. Names that you've heard before, that you remember from your time in the monastery, being shouted at you, screamed at you. And then more violence, more people pushing you, more people trying to hurt you, trying to anger you, trying to throw you off to keep you from getting to your friends. It's harder. What are you gonna do?
Just keep trying. I try and deflect as many as I can, and once it gets to a certain point, if I have to defend myself, I will. If my progress gets impeded, I'll try to defend myself.
Okay. As your progress is impeded, people crowd around you. It is nothing short of a human swarm at this point. People pushing in on all sides. You're deflecting as many blows as you can, but eventually you've just got to start swinging. You start hitting and punching and kicking, and your group does seem closer than it was before, but still too far. People are going down right and left. Everybody is shouting at this point. It's loud. It's angry. People are riding. All of a sudden you start seeing knives and swords come out. You start getting cut. Start getting really, actually seriously hurt. Your group in the corner, they don't seem to notice any of this happening. They don't seem to notice what's going on or any of the noise. You start taking more blows, and you're taking people out right and left. I mean, it's not hard. These are just normal folk. But you have to defend yourself. But you do feel, little by little, as you try to push your way forward, weakening, blood pouring out, bones cracking, until eventually you hit that point. Make your save.
Okay. What kind is it? What kind of save?
The one we talked about, it was wisdom, right? Yeah.
Actually pretty good. 21.
21. Okay. So you feel the anger bubbling up. You kind of calm down. You keep fighting. But now your friends have noticed what's going on. They've seen you and seen that you're getting hurt, and they're rushing towards you, but they're getting swarmed too. They're getting hit and punched and screamed at, and you see blades flash. At this point, they're all getting hurt. They're all getting...
Do I have my staff with me still?
Yes.
At this point, that's out, and I'm using it instead of just fists and kicks. And yeah, I'm using it to push people down, try and knock them unconscious, whatever it is I can get closer to help.
And that you guys are getting closer to each other. Finally, you're maybe 20 feet away, and in front of you is a little high elf boy, and he just spits at you and will not get out of your way. You see Galen get stabbed. Not fatally, but he falls to his knees in front of you. And none of the other guys are close enough to get to him.
I'd try and take this half-elf guy out to try and get to Galen.
So it's a half-elf, like, teenager.
Yeah, attack him.
Just, it's actually a good fight. He seems to mirror you pretty well. And it looks like you're not going to be able to take him out without really causing permanent harm.
I'm trying to cause permanent harm. I'm using my quarterstaff. Just attacks, flurry of blows, whatever it is.
You hit him, and you hit him hard, and you feel his jaw crack, and his head kind of snap to the side, and he falls down. And there's a path. You get to Galen, and as soon as you touch your hand, boom, you wake up.
I'm like visibly out of breath, and like my muscles are extraordinarily tense.
Yeah. So Valanth is like, breathe. She hands you back Batosai.
I don't even take it. I just kind of like put my hands together like this and just kind of pull and just sit there for like maybe like a minute until my breath slows a little bit.
You see that she's at this point has Batosai in one hand and a cup of tea in the other. And she just looks at it and she goes, "You seem to be yourself." Here.
I take the tea. Take the tea first.
Hand you the tea. He's like, "That was unexpected, but I think you're a better man than you let yourself think you are."
Well, I guess we'll see on that one.
Regardless, we have everything that we need, and you did everything perfectly. Okay.
Thanks. Thank you for the tea. And I'll take my staff back and kind of just
she kind of like
slowly walk out.
Yeah, walks over to the hallway and just lets you leave.
All right.
Dude, bro.
Walk out.
Brother, are you okay? Holy smokes.
Yeah, I think I'll be okay. Yeah.
3 at this point is just like, he just rushes past all of you, knocks on the door, like really rushedly, and you see like a tan-skinned, dark-haired, like tiefling with like plaited hair.
Of course.
Very pretty, a little short, and very curvy, and she just kind of like smirks at him and turns around. He follows her inside. You see him kind of like bump into one of the masks as he walks into the door. Shuts the door, and time passes. 10 minutes go by.
Oh, we don't get to hear.
He comes out, and he is just as pale as a red tiefling can be.
He's pink.
Right, he's pink, yeah. Is not staggering or stumbling anymore. From what you guys can tell, is stone cold sober.
Jeez.
You all right there, big guy? Can I put up my hand on his
Are you
shoulder?
alright?
He's just kind of like,
Need a shot or 3?
3?
he just like hands you the little keg and then just like goes and sits down by a tree.
What?
Like doesn't say a damn word, just is like,
He gave away alcohol and went to sit down.
Oh shit.
So Gregor's pretty nervous.
So it's funny though, because a halfling, before you ever get a chance to go up to the door itself opens, and there's a halfling man standing there, and he kind of looks over at Zara and goes,
I'm glad she was with us.
"You need one too." And Zara is like petrified at this point.
Poor thing.
Wait,
Like
can I
slowly. Yeah. What's up?
put my hand on her shoulder
Mm-hmm.
and I give her a squeeze for good luck? You got this.
Ooh.
She's like,
From the Messiah.
Squeeze. Wait, did you squeeze her
she
shoulder or her
starts-
butt?
Her shoulder.
Oh, okay, okay.
Uh,
I look in a terrible joke.
she begins.
This is not the Catholic Church.
Oh no.
Gets on the path and begins walking forward. And as she's walking, you see that she actually is like stepping very carefully on the path. It's like she's trying to specifically avoid cracks. And she comes up to the door and she comes up and she steps through, and then she steps back out, then she steps through, kind of looks back, steps back out one more time, and then steps through again and follows this halfling in.
Gregor is pacing back and forth, neurotically.
A little bit later, she comes out, and she's actually smiling.
What?
Huh.
She's just kind of like, she's smiling, but she's like kind of quizzical, like, and she looks at you, Gregor, and just kind of
It's because of that shoulder squeeze.
Oh no, she looks like
kind
disappointment.
of cocks her head, and it's just like, she walks over and she puts her hand like on your back, and she's like, I think it's your turn, and kind of like gives you like a little bit of a shove forward.
Gregor takes a deep breath, approaches the door, and bangs on the door one time.
Boom. Cast shatter on the
So-
door.
Blast it. I'm afraid of who lives here. I'm not doing shit.
So, again, footsteps coming towards the door. The door just kind of like opens, like very casually. Standing there, in just a simple tunic and pants and high ankle boots is a gorgeous brunette woman. She's just human. As you look at her, you can see, however, starting on like on the side of her neck, that there are scars from something. There's no way to know what it would have been, but they peek out from most of her clothes. And she kind of looks at you and goes, Gregor.
And
So,
having a hard time.
Mr. Messiah of the island, come on in.
I close the door behind me.
Close the door behind you. Walking through, you see all the masks, creepy, pleasant, all that stuff.
If you don't mind me asking, how did you get those? And I point to her scars.
Oh, she kind of looks and she's like, typically I'm the one that asks the questions, but it's a fair question. I was in a fire. Everybody here has had a rough life, and Mistress Saphira, I have a little bit of. She kind of like attempts to pull a little bit, and you see her wince. She's like, "I've got a little limited mobility, so was hard to get other work." Mistress Dessa's was kind enough to bring it to bring us in.
Yeah.
She points at the back of your hand, and she goes, "How'd you get that?"
A business transaction. I'm not being disrespectful. It's what it was. And I lift up my shirt and show some of my own scars. I say, I know the feeling.
She's kind of like, "I kind of figured you did."
You just wanted to show her your abs.
My abs are great. It wasn't like a scarred set of fizzled abs.
She goes over and grabs a drink. She's like, "Oh, what would you prefer?"
Water would be great. My
Okay.
mouth is a bit dry.
She just grabs a decanter of water, pours a couple tall glasses, sits down in same chair, same just like everybody else. She kind of looks at you and goes, "So, I'm gonna ask you a few questions, and then you're gonna take a potion, have some interesting visions, and then we'll be done. So, do you have any questions before we get started?"
Are you the mask maker?
She looks at you and goes, I'm an apprentice.
Okay. Make
your insight check, because I know you want to.
I do.
I do.
I appreciate you. Oh, forgot this. Here we go. 18.
Very nice. She kind of looks at you, goes... She sees your expression change as you see through the little lie, and just goes, "It's been a decade since anyone's guessed."
Really?
She pauses for a moment, puts her glass down, and all of a sudden her hair changes back into like blonde, and she gives herself tiefling horns, and then she shifts again. This time she grows fur and she looks like a tabaxi, and eventually she just lets it drop, and you see a face very similar to a previous companion that you had, just kind of blank features. And she goes,
"Knew it."
But unlike them, unlike him, she's obviously old. She pulls back on the same appearance that she had when you first walked in, and she goes, "I am. My name is Saphira." And she holds out her hand, like for just like a... She goes, looks and looks you up and down and goes, "Don't tell anyone, okay?
I'm sorry?
Don't tell anyone, okay?
Not my business.
I do have a business to run. And it's so much more fun to have people think that I have so many gorgeous young assistants. It makes it very, very easy to get the actual truth out of people." So, let's talk. Gregor, you got a last name?
Kulinov.
Kulinov.
It's a name from far away from here.
Sounds like from Ephira.
It's Russian.
I am a Russian dog. Sorry. Gregor did not say that.
She kind of looks and she's like, "All right. So tell me, Gregor, presumed messiah of Thea and Pashara."
Oh, please stop. That wasn't... I didn't want that. That was an unhappy surprise.
But you have it now. That's not a title given to you yet, but you're going to have a lot of different things thrown at you. And as someone who's a bit of a study of human nature, you're going to have to find a way to handle it. So it's my pleasure to get to know you before, I don't know, the attention goes to your head. So, who is Gregor?
Gregor is tired. Gregor has managed to get himself, through no fault of his own, involved in wars between gods and the ascension of false gods, and managed to meet the most insane group of murder hobos imaginable. Provide the only source of relief and companionship. Gregor is tired. Gregor thinks he has a long road ahead.
She kind of smiles to herself and she's like, I don't know. I don't think they're as bad as you think they are.
I meant it in a positive way. They were involved in my transformation.
So, been through some pretty heavy stuff. And I can tell that you've got a bit of a past to you. I won't dig too much into it. But I'll ask you the same question that I tried to get to the bottom of with everyone else. Are you a good man, Gregor?
That is a good question. I think I started out as one, or a normal man. I've definitely done evil things. I think I would like to return to what I might have been if it wasn't for the adventure I've been on.
She goes, okay, well, that's a good answer. As you were talking, her appearance just kind of aged a bit. Still gorgeous, still like a beautiful brunette face, but she appears old herself, and she kind of looks at you and goes, I understand being tired too.
I have no doubt.
So, that was the fun part.
For certain definitions of fun.
She hands you a little glass bottle. She's like, take that. Have probably the most intense hallucination you'll ever have. And I'll see you when you get back.
Cheers. Take the shot.
Just like before, couple minutes, lights fade to black.
Put my feet up, I'm ready for it.
Find the festival, put your feet up. And you wake up amidst a fire.
Okay.
A town is burning around you.
Do I recognize the town?
You don't, but the architecture and the style is similar to where you grew up.
Okay.
You see a number of armed and armored men bearing the symbol of Bane marching around. They're collecting people.
Live people?
Live people. People who are struggling are being attacked. You're standing by an alleyway, and in that alleyway, you see a little boy and a little girl. They're doing their best not to cry, but you can see tears streaming down their face. They're in a place where you are the only one who can see them. And you are aware at the time that they will be put to the same test that you were. And you're conflicted. You've known what Bane is about. You know that the chance of these children making it out of this village are slim to none. You also know that if anyone sees you acting out of character, that you are going to be murdered.
Wait, so they can see me. I'm not like hiding in an alley.
No, they can see you. You're standing out in the street while they're in an alleyway.
Oh.
And you're
Wait.
supposed to be carrying. You
Oh,
look down
I'm one of
and
the
you
Bane
are
soldiers?
looking down and you see that you are in the uniform of a soldier of Bane. Of a cleric of Bane specifically.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
Are the soldiers, like, intermingled with the population, or are they sort of grouped off on their own?
Oh, no, they're intermingling. Some of them are bringing people before the various priests and clerics of Bane around the village. Some of them are still marching through the streets. Some of them are lighting buildings on fire. Some of them are just straight up killing people. But you see these two children by themselves. And you know that if you leave them alone, they will die.
I walk into the alley. Hopefully, my back is facing. Yes, I'm asking.
Sorry, I didn't hear fully. You cut out a little bit.
No, sorry. If I walk into the alley, my back is facing out. My back is facing everyone else.
Yeah, nobody, like, you're by yourself. You're a singular person.
Gotcha.
So, like, people are out and about, but nobody else can see these kids.
So, I draw my weapon and I head towards the kids. And with my back to whoever's behind me, I cast banishment on the two kids.
Shit.
You want me to explain it, or should I just go with it?
Read the spell.
Alright.
Banishment?
Oh shit.
Dark.
You attempt to send one creature that you can see within range to another plane of existence. The target must succeed on a charisma saving throw or be banished. If the target is native to the plane of existence you're on, you banish a target to a harmless demi-plane, while the other target is incapacitated, which I'm assuming some sort of unconscious or something. The target remains there until the spell ends, which is 1 minute, at which point the target reappears in the space it left, from the nearest unoccupied space if it's occupied. So it's like a safe place to put them.
Okay. So, one of them disappears. The other, the little girl disappears, and the little boy kind of looks and he goes, where did you? And he kind of like steps back a little bit.
I cast banishment on him too. I have 2 4th level spells.
Okay. Has banishment on him.
Jesus Christ.
They poof. Just in time, from the other end of the alley, you see a couple people come around, and they see you, and they go, priest, we seem to have cleared this sector. What would you have us do?
Oh my god, I'm the priest. This is a nightmare. Go gather the soldiers, and I'll make an announcement.
Of course, sir. We'll get right on that.
I don't want to make it twice. Make sure you gather them all in one place.
Okay. They leave, and maybe 20 seconds later, the 2 children poof into existence. One after another. Poof, poof. They kind of seem dazed and like confused, and then they see you and they just kind of what just happened? You
Is there? Sorry, go ahead.
are you gonna hurt us?
Is there a direction where the soldiers are sort of mostly?
Yes. There was a place where they were collecting people, where the main, like the head priest, the one that you served under, is currently converting people.
Gotcha. I lean down to the 2 kids and I whisper. I point away from all the soldiers and I whisper, "Run."
They go, okay.
Run now.
And they take off and they just sprint like as fast as their little legs can take them. Quickly, they're like out of earshot. The people, you can see that the soldiers are starting to gather. Most of the work is already done, so it's not that much out of character. But as you kind of step back to the street, you do see the head priest kind of looking around, confused.
Is he near the other soldiers?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
He's got like his own little personal guard.
Yeah. So I start working slowly towards a group of soldiers in front of me.
So you walk down this cobblestone path, the buildings burning all around you, ash heavy in the air, smoke filling your nostrils. Not just the smoke of buildings, but the smoke of bodies too.
I cast Call Lightning on the priest.
A storm swirls into existence, built out of humidity and ash, and lightning strikes down.
Oh, and I also use my what's it called? My
Divinity.
I can't remember what it's called. My ability to cast maximum damage with a lightning spell.
The priest gets hit. You see his body go tense, and then as the lightning seems to almost continue for half a second longer than it should, it just begins burning away everything on him, leaving a husk burnt to a crisp. The people that were kneeling in front of him are screaming in terror. All the priests kind of look around, their hands, their swords out, their axes out, ready to go, ready to fight.
I turn to the innocents and I scream at them to run in a direction, and I start casting Call Lightning as fast as I can on any group of soldiers that are near me.
So
the village is beyond saving.
Their lightning begins to strike. The soldiers, some of them try to grab people that are running away. Some of them are confused. You see another priest from farther away that had been coming point at you and just scream blasphemer.
Oh shit.
Everyone begins to make moves towards you. You're casting Call Lightning. 1-2 people are going down every single time. There are still 30-40 men in the area. They're going down fast, but they're going to reach you.
When they get close to me, I pull out my weapon. Do I have my hammer?
Yes.
Pull out my hammer to get ready, and I cast second level Thunder Wave. So Thunder's Force sweeps out from you in a 15-foot cube originating from me.
Okay.
And I'm just boiling with rage and furious and screaming curses at them as I do it.
As soldiers have been correlating on your precision, now civilians are crisscrossing around. They're just running in every direction. They're in the crossfire.
That's not ideal.
They're not. You haven't hit anybody yet, but like if you continue doing that, they will be. So the soldiers near you get thrown back, but they continue coming. They continue coming near you. The priest is walking confidently at you, a war hammer in his hand, and he seems to be chanting.
I cast silence on him.
You see his voice stop, and he grabs his hammer and he begins sprinting at you with all the rest of the soldiers. At this point, it is chaos. There are civilians, there are soldiers around you. Everyone is coming at you at the same time. The first one reaches you. You take a swing. Boom, knock his head off. A second one gets to you. Manages to get a blow in. Drains blood while you do this. Or drains blood before you take him down. But more and more quickly arriving. What are you going to do?
Am I being overwhelmed?
You are, yes. Or if you're not yet, you're going to be very quickly.
Are the soldiers like all around you? The same kind of thing that
Yep, soldiers and civilians.
Stupid civilians. I'm gonna try to use my dexterity ring as much as possible to avoid hits.
Okay,
And
So
keep
that works.
swinging.
that works a little bit. You dodge some hits that would have taken you out. You take down a few more men. You're thinning the herd. There's probably only 20 men left, but they're heavily armored. And now completely surrounding you.
I cast Shatter in the densest part of the men, where I don't care how close it is to me.
Okay.
That's the end.
You cast Shatter, and they hold their hands over their ears. You see the metal on them vibrate, and two civilians just crumple to the ground, their ears bleeding, their eyes bleeding.
Oh, am I still alive?
Say again?
I didn't realize I was still alive.
I mean, just barely. They're still surrounding you. You have a choice. You can run or keep fighting.
Cast mass healing on the civilians who've been injured, while trying simultaneously to swing my hammer, whoever's left.
You healed as many civilians as you can, and as you're doing so, blades just begin to pierce your skin more and more, until finally you crumble to your knees. The priest walks up, and as the last bit of life drains from your body, he just points down and says, "Blasphemer," and then crushes your head with his hammer. You wake up. Boom. The old brunette human looks at you and she goes, you see now that she's holding a pendant and rubbing it.
Fuck you.
Looks at you and she goes,
Oh no, I'm losing you guys.
She's like, I think you can be a good man again, for the record.
I think we might have lost him.
Oh,
Wait,
Oh, man.
No.
seriously?
wait, there he is.
Oh, okay.
Natty?
Cool.
Can you hear us?
Oh, we lost Natty.
Yeah, Natty.
Yeah, Natty.
Natty!
Natty. Oh no, there he goes.
Oh, it's gone.
Wait, he's back?
Oh, it's back.
Are you back?
Yeah.
I'm back. My
Okay.
whole thing disconnected for a second.
Alright.
So
alright.
the last thing I heard you say was he blasphemer, and I screamed "fuck you" as much as I could.
Oh,
God.
okay.
Gone.
And
It's
okay.
gone. He died.
Oh no!
The hammer did
no.
real damage.
It did you really got him.
Guess
The hallucination got too real.
There he is.
In his back.
Wait, what's the last thing you heard me say?
You screamed "fuck you" at the priest,
Yeah.
and then got your head crushed.
Is that when I wake up?
Yep.
Nope,
You
you
wake
dead.
up.
You didn't wake up.
I come up swinging.
You did.
Come up swinging.
Swinging. Full fight mode.
The older woman quickly, just kind of dances across the room away from you. And kind of looks at you, and you see now that she's holding this pendant, and it's kind of got some leftover glow to it. And she
See, they're like
turns
crunching
to
my
the dust,
chest.
and she looks at you, and she's like, I think you can be a good man again if you really wanted.
How do you know? Did you see that?
I see all of them. Wouldn't work otherwise.
Yeah. I'm sweating and out of breath
Yeah.
and shaking. Yeah.
She comes up and puts an arm around you and gently just leads you to the hallway.
Can I have a cookie?
Thanks, Grandma.
She she quick darts faster than an old woman would most likely move. Darts over and grabs a cookie or like a baked treat out of a bowl. Comes back over, hands it to you.
You're the best.
No, considering what I just put you through, probably not. But so she takes and makes herself look older, right? Look more regal. Her clothes change to be like kind of long and flowing. And she leads you to the door. She steps aside. And you guys see this new face appear, this old woman. And she steps aside and just looks at all of you and says, I think you're all going to do just fine.
Rue just wants to be like, who the fuck are you?
Regis! None of that.
Kindly, miss.
She just she looks at you and just kind of laughs and goes, my name is Saphira. And it was a pleasure to meet all of you. And with that, she closes the door, and we're going to end the episode.
Woo!
Oh,
I don't know about you guys, but I never met her.
Me either.
I've never met the old witch
We
either.
just met.
I did not either.
So,
All right, chaps.
yeah, sorry
She,
for a fully
she came in
role-playing
after-
episode.
No,
I didn't know how long
No,
it
it's
was
I
going to
fine.
take.
enjoyed it.
no, that was great. That was fun.
I really did have other stuff planned, but with the little bit shorter episodes, I think I have a harder time planning out what's going to happen when.
Fair.
Because like we were playing for like 3 or 4 hours, like a normal session. Like we'd have time to go do other stuff. But
Right.
And then I had to go and ruin it for you guys.
you're fine.
Alrighty.
So
I'm gonna end the stream at least. So
yeah,
Alright.
sounds good.
bye everybody.
Bye.
See you.